During this past year, 27 members of the Institute of Medicine passed away, and I'd like to just take a moment for all of us to express our appreciation and to honor those we've lost with the moment of silence. One of those who died after an all too brief illness was our esteemed Home Secretary, Steve Ryan. Steve was an incredible friend to many of us. He did so much for the field of ophthalmology. He was a renowned retina specialist. He was president of the Doheny Eye Institute in Los Angeles. He had trainees all over the world that he loved to visit and see their success in leading eye institutes all over the world. But he did a great deal, especially for the National Academies. He was on the board of the Keck Foundation. At the time he died, he was chairing the board of the Beckman Foundation. And Steve served about 10 years ago, starting as the chair of our membership committee. And when I called him, when Hal Fallon finished his first tour of duty, and started to ask him if he would become Home Secretary, he practically said yes before I completed the whole sentence asking him. And whenever I would call Steve, he'd always answer, "What can I do for my good friend Harvey?" And he meant it. Judith Shamir, our wonderful Director of Member Relations, would always tell me, "As long as Steve Ryan is the Home Secretary, you can be sure I'm not going to quit." Steve did so much for us in so many ways, miss him very dearly. But every one of us who joined the Institute of Medicine, was elected as a member anytime in the last 10 years, really owes a part of that to the hard work and careful oversight and direct engagement that Steve Ryan lavished on his role here at the Institute of Medicine. And now I have the privilege to introduce some of those who are the beneficiaries of Steve's attention, in particular the members of the class of 2012, whom we welcome officially at this meeting. As I read the names of each of you who is here, I would ask if you would just stand in place, and when I've gone through the entire roster, I'll invite all of us to join in appreciation and recognition of you. Salim S. Abdul Karim, Gustavo D. Aguirre, David B. Allison, Norman B. Anderson, Lawrence J. Apple, Jacqueline K. Barton, R. Daniel Beecham, Shelley L. Berger, Bruce R. Blazar, Michael L. Boninger, Nancy M. Bonini, David A. Brenner, John M. Carruthers, Amitabh Chandra, Linda Chin, Dawn W. Cleveland, Myron S. Cohen, James J. Collins, Alastair Compston, Panjola Coney, Eileen M. Crimmins, Lord Nigel Crisp, Jianping Dai, Lisa DeAngelis, John O. Delancey, Sharon U. Devaskar, Vishva M. Dixit, John P. Donahue, Robert H. Edwards, Christopher J. Elias, Michael Fiore, Thomas R. Fleming, Sandro Galea, Jennifer R. Grandis, Robert M. Groves, Paul H. Grundy, George Haripsak, Donald E. Ingber, David Julius, Carl June, Daniel L. Kastner, Lydia E. Kavraki, Paula M. Lance, Albert Lee, Tracy Liu, Dan R. Littman, Jens Ludwig, Terry Magnuson, Tom Maniatis, Diane McIntyre, Antonios G. Mikos, Lloyd B. Miner, Albert G. Mully Jr., Jack Needleman, Peter Palese, Martin A. Filbert, Marina Picciotto, Jennifer M. Puck, Stephen R. Quake, Marilyn J. Rance, Carrie J. Ressler, Wayne J. Riley, Martin Rowland, Sarah Rosenbaum, Arthur B. Sanders, Andrew I. Schaefer, Mitchell D. Schnall, Fritz H. Schroeder, Greg L. Semenza, Nelson K. Sawankamo, Stephen A. Siegelbaum, David Spiegel, Andy S. Sturgachis, David K. Stevenson, Gerald Stuckey, Sten H. Vermund, Kevin G. Volp, Diana J. Wilkie, Wayne M. Yokoyama, and Charles F. Zoromsky. Congratulations, one and all. And now it's my pleasure to introduce 4 groups of fellows who are with us at the Institute of Medicine. The first is the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation Health Policy Fellows. And as I begin to introduce them, I'll ask each to stand and at the end to be recognized. But before I introduce them, I want to make a note that this is the 40th consecutive year of support from the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation for the Health Policy Fellows Program at the Institute of Medicine, and I think that deserves a special recognition. So now, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation Health Policy Fellows. Amir Afkami, Nadine Brownstein, Wendy Gosliner, Shannon Hayder, Ronald Klein, and Maria Rosa Watson. Congratulations and welcome. And now I'd like to introduce this year's IOM ANF AAN ANA Distinguished Nurse Scholar in Residence, and she is Beatrice Kalish. This year's FDA Tobacco Regulatory Science Fellows are Sarah Bodner, Amy Haynes, Darren Mays, Honggong Wang, and Xiao Chuan Zhao. Congratulations. And our group of IOM Anniversary Fellows for this year: first, the Gilbert S. Oman Anniversary Fellow, Deidre C. Cruz. Second, the Anniversary Fellow, sponsored by the ABIM Foundation in honor of Dr. John Benson, Scott D. Halpern. Third, the Norman F. Gant American Board of Obstetrics and Gynecology Fellow, Kathleen M. Schmaler. And the James C. Puffer American Board of Family Medicine Fellow, Catherine J. Gold. And if I may, I'd like to invite Gil Oman, John Benson, Norm Gant, and James Puffer to stand so we can recognize and thank the namesakes. I also would like to announce and have the pleasure of announcing this year's winner of the Rhoda and Bernard Sarnat International Prize in Mental Health. It seems especially fitting this year to again be able to recognize an individual who's done so much to improve our understanding of schizophrenia, its courses, causes, and symptoms, as well as for his research on ethics and informed consent. Would you please stand and be recognized, William T. Carpenter. We now have the opportunity to present the Gustav O. Lienhardt Award winner. This award is sponsored by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, and I do want to thank especially the president of the foundation, Risa Levizo-Moray, the board member, Eugene Washington, and trustee emeritus Robert Campbell, who are here. And now it's my special pleasure to call on the chair of the Lienhardt Prize Selection Committee, Raynard S. Kington, president of Grinnell College.
Thank you.